Hello, this is Matt Alessandrini here with another screencast for how to use the Classroom Performance System, or CPS. So far what I've shown you how to do is I've shown you how to prepare a group of students, how to prepare a test, how to administer a test, and now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to look at the results. So what I want you to do is come down over to our Report tab right here. Click on that and then come here and click on Reports right here. Then I want you to come down and I want you to take a look at all the different types of tests that have been taken already. The most important part you want to know right here is you want to see and look at the session title and the class. So like right now I have Vocabulary 3 was the name of the test. The class I took was my homeroom class. I click on it and it's highlighted in gray. The next thing I want to do is I want to click on Generate. Now, this box comes up. On the left-hand side, we have the students. On the right-hand side, we have vocabulary, what it is, and what different types of tests, different types of reports you can look at. I want to focus on three types of reports: instructor summary, study guide, and item analysis. So let's take a look at instructor summary. Before we do that though, I want you to notice over here on the left hand side with all the students. If you want your students' grade or their test to be processed, you have to make sure that it's checked mark next to it. So if I click on this select all of a sudden none of them are going to be processed. So then I can do one at a time. But I want to select them all. Now let's just say you took a test and one of your students was not there during the day and you forget about that. If I click on here and it says filter out students who didn't respond, it'll take away any of the students who weren't there who didn't do the test. Fortunately for us, all of them were there. So now bring your attention back over to the right. We have instructor summary. I'm going to click on preview. Now our test is processed. And you're going to notice a couple things. The first thing you should notice, it says instructor summary at the top here. Then it says the session, then it says the classroom that took it, and then it says the class points average. This had 84% out of 100, or 84%. You're going to notice first off that, okay, 84% did pretty well. They did 84%, so they did pretty well, but there's probably still a little bit of a need here. So now if I go down here, it's going to go ahead and show the pad number, the student name, how many they attempted and how many that got correct, their percentage, and their score. If I look here, our first one, Jake Bowersock, did okay. He got 5 out of 6. Ethan Crow did very well. He got 6 out of 6. Lizzie Eaton got a 4 out of 6. So this is telling me that maybe Lizzie needs to have a little bit more work with her. Same with Anna, Clayton, Landon, and anyone else who got a 4 out of 6. These are the ones that I need to work with just a little bit more. You can scroll down here. You can notice, again, it shows all the students here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it back up there. And then when I'm done with this, all I have to do is X out. And it takes me right back to this box right here. So that, again, that is our instructor summary. It gives you a basic outline of how your students did. Now I'm going to come down here to study guide, incorrect answers. For those students who didn't do very well or maybe missed a couple of them, this is a section for them. Now with this test processed, you can see that it shows the study guide, the session, the class, the average just like before. But here's the big difference. It breaks down each student individually. It shows what question they missed, what the correct answer is, and how they answered. What I would do with this is I would actually print it out, which all you have to do is come up here to the print button and click on it. You print it out. You give each student their own results back and say, this is what you missed, this is what we need to study on. This is for the students. So now I'm done with this. I'm going to go ahead and X out. The last thing I want to show you, and this is my own personal preference, is I always like to show item analysis. So I click on preview there. And what item analysis is, if you are unfamiliar, item analysis basically shows which of the questions were answered wrong the most, or which of the questions are answered wrong, correct the most. Either way you look at it, it shows where the biggest need is on your test. Alright, here's the item analysis report. The item analysis report again shows the session, the class, the average. It's the same on every report. But now you're going to notice the difference is it shows each question, 1 all the way down to 6. What happens is the questions that were correct, or I should say the correct answer has a star next to it. So C, B, A, and C. Now it shows percentage-wise how much percentage of the class answered each question. 4% of the class answered A on number 1. So it looked like the class did pretty well on that. On number 2, 12% of the class answered A, so that's a little bit more of a concern for me. On number 3, 8% answered B, 8% answered C, 8% answered D. So 24%, just about 24-25% got that one wrong. So that's a big concern for me. And then number 4 is probably my biggest percent. If you look here, actually only 54% of the class got the one right. So that's telling me right now that number 4 is something we need to look at. Number 5, on the other hand, is something, hey, I don't need to look at number 5 because the class gets it. And the same with number 6. 92% of the class got it. They're looking pretty good on that. So again, this is my item analysis. This shows me that, okay, number 4, number 3, and number 2 are questions we probably need to look at again. And that is a really cool thing about this system, the CPS. If you've not used it before, if you're unfamiliar with it, or you're thinking about getting it, it breaks down exactly what everybody does in no time at all. So I'm just going to X out of that. Now, you're going to notice there are a lot of other different types of reports you can do there. And I would suggest go ahead and try them for yourself. I just showed you, in my opinion, the 3 most important, the most revealing results or reports that you can use to help to show how your students are doing. So I'm going to X out of there. And that concludes this podcast, or I should say this screencast, this screencast of using the CPS. I will be back for the next time we'll be back is I'm going to talk about how to add little features like pictures to your tests. Until then, take care.